Our next caller is Zach from Maryland.
Zach, what's happening? How can we help you?
Hey guys, really appreciate you having me on, and just want to start by thanking you for all of the great information that you're putting out there. When I was first trying to lose a bunch of weight, I got all caught up in the trendy fads. So you guys got me right on the right track with fitness. So
cool.
Awesome. Really can't thank you enough.
Awesome.
For context, I'm a former college football player. I played O-line, and I've lost a bunch of weight since I finished playing, and undergone significant body recomposition by following the MAPS programs. So I followed the RGB bundle, and I'm currently in phase 3 of aesthetic. And so this is my first time in really 10 plus years of lifting that I'm focusing primarily on getting a pump is sort of the main adaptation. I've sort of gotten it before. I'm familiar with it, but this has never been the main focus. So my question is that I'm finding that I can lift greater weights with the high reps prescribed in the supersets in phase 3 with good form, but it kind of takes away from the feel of the muscles. And if I lift lighter weights, I can really focus on that mind muscle connection and squeeze the muscles more over the same number of reps and kind of increase the feel of the pump that I'm getting. My thought is that I probably should do the latter and focus on the feel of the muscles, but just want to making that lightweight feel as heavy as possible and do more with it. But want to confirm that that's the right approach, and whether you have any tips on how to know that you're at the correct weight for not going too light but not going too heavy that you can't focus on.
I like this.
Yeah, I
like how you're presenting that.
You're on point.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want to do, especially with the phase like that. Yeah. When you're doing low rep training,
focus for sure.
Yes. I mean, when you're doing low rep training, you're doing like 5 reps, and you're doing compound lifts. It's about the movement. It's about movement efficiency, maximizing leverage, right? When you're doing the higher reps, bodybuilder style training, it's all about the feel, and you're better off for the most part. Now, I know I'm talking to somebody who used to play college football, right? You in your question, you wrote down that you played college football before so you were a high level athlete. You're probably pretty strong, or you have at least the propensity for tremendous strength. There's a risk versus reward here when we go with heavy weight. The reward with going heavier can be more muscle growth, but it depends on who I'm talking to. Someone like you're better off making the weight feel heavier than adding weight to the bar. You're still going to build muscle, but you're going to reduce the risk of injury with the heavier weight. So you're better off with the feel, especially with the phase 3 of MAPS aesthetic. So you're on point. When I train this way, if I feel like I can add 5 pounds or 10 pounds to the bar, all I do is I try to make the set harder myself so I don't have to add weight. I get way better results that way.
I guarantee this is a novel stimulus for you. Knowing like what the training used to look like for football. This is the perfect opportunity for you to really focus in on a completely different approach to weight training. And so you're right on point in terms of like really trying to mind muscle connection is where you want to live. And really, I think one of the things that I found myself as far as like always trying to intensify everything, because of the type of workouts I used to do forever. This is one of those things, like, don't go super fast, like really feel it. Like, slow yourself down because it's high reps and because it's lighter weight. A lot of times people tend to like rush their way through it, in terms of like the way that I used to approach it. So I think that's one thing, like you're already on point in terms of how you're looking at it. So I just want to reiterate that.
Yeah, I don't have much to contribute to that. I think that other than great self-awareness, I think that men tend to have a tendency to put more weight on the bar than they should.
Especially if you played college football.
Yeah, especially if you have an athletic background. So the fact that you've got the awareness that you probably have that tendency and you probably should lighten the load and focus on squeeze, I think is great, man. I think more people, especially men, need to do that. I think it's really, and I'm as guilty of the same thing. You get in the gym, you start feeling good, grabbing 10 or 15 more pounds to add to it because I can. I let that get in the way sometimes, and I know that I should focus on the squeeze and the form and the technique. You're going to get just as much, if not more, out of it, plus without as much risk. So, yeah, no, I think you got the right attitude, and I think you're going to continue to see great results.
Zach, you did MAPS Anabolic, MAPS Performance, and now you're finishing MAPS Aesthetic, right?
Yep. I'm planning to go to Symmetry next. Slowing these reps down has made me notice some imbalances. So
Do you have Symmetry, or can I send that to you?
I do have Symmetry.
Okay. All right.
Awesome,
All right.
dude.
Well, you almost got it for free.
I should have waited.
No worries. What about? Do you have anything for correctional stuff like MAPS Prime, like a Prime Pro? Do you have that?
Not yet. Prime Pro, I definitely am interested in.
Let me send that to you, because I think that no matter what program you do, what you'll find in MAPS Prime Pro is going to help you out, especially an ex-athlete like yourself. There's going to be certain muscle imbalances or movement issues that you're going to start to identify, especially when you go through MAPS Symmetry. And Prime Pro is a beautiful addition.
That's awesome. Really, really appreciate that.
No problem, man. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Keep it up, man.
You know, I'm going to say this. This is I think generally true. Obviously, it depends on who I'm talking to, but you know, adding weight to the bar is really important when you first start working out. Later on, making the weight feel heavier rather than adding weight to the bar becomes more important. Like the mind to muscle connection, bodybuilding style type training. I say style in quotations because I think correctional work and multiplanar movements are crucial that bodybuilders typically don't do. But that style of training where you're feeling the muscle, connecting, making the weight feel heavier and not adding weight to the bar, that's a better longevity approach to strength training. It really is. Once you reach a certain point of strength, the risk versus reward just doesn't make sense to keep trying to add weight to the bar unless you're a competitive powerlifter. You know,
I'm just stoked that somebody like this found their way to our programs and found their way to this, because this is such a high risk, individual in terms of coming from a sport like that and eating the amount of calories they're eating and the explosive, like damaging type of, activity they're a part of, like, and then go shift completely to regular life that's sedentary and all this. Like, I've just seen so many examples of, especially like O linemen, D linemen, where, the health problems just snowball. It just accelerates. So, kudos to him for really going through this and getting back on a good path.
Oh, totally. Have you trained? You ever train ex-athletes in this situation? It's so hard to get them to switch mentalities.
Totally.
Because
Impossible
it's
almost.
like, because for so long, that's how you lifted. That's how you trained. That's how you ate. And now you're like, no, slow down. Feel the muscle. I'm like, what? Like I'll lift more. Let me go faster. Let me go harder.
That's why my only contribution to the conversation was great self-awareness, because I think most people already struggle. Most men struggle with this as it is, and then if you're also coming from that background, really hard to make that mental shift.